If I had a fucking dollar for every time I heard that question, I'd be fucking so rich. At a certain point, when you have a certain amount of development, you have a certain amount of understanding of how to train your chest, and you're aware of how to contract it and how to move it. It will come down to angles, but most of the people who are asking this question, the reason why they're saying I want to develop lower chest is because they haven't felt their chest ever. So if you haven't felt your chest ever, there's no way that you could break it down into portions of your chest that you think you can elicit a contraction to. There's no such thing as like my lower pec as being like a muscle. I can angle press things, like I can do this press here. It's just a matter of setting up on machines, on angles that allow you to almost decline press without decline pressing, like we lay on the bar and the fucking bar's coming at you. So if I sit here and it looks like an improper setup. It looks odd to people. My elbows are tucked in, my hands are tight, and I'm tucked into my lats, and I'm almost leaning forward on my hands. So my weight's not here like most people. My weight is forward and my shoulders are back. And I'm tucking my elbows into my side as much as I can, because my lats are out, so I can't tuck my elbow in completely. I'm here, so when I go to move here, I want to drive myself. Imagine that when I push, I'm going up the bench like this. So every time I push, I'm moving up the bench. I'm not literally going to be able to do that because I have whatever amount of poundage keeping me in the bench, but when I move here, I'm moving up and I'm squeezing out. So my push can't be quick. I have to tuck in here again, so let the weight push my hand back and sink my shoulder. I need to drive out from inner elbow, so down in here. My shove comes from, so I keep my elbow tight in here. I don't let it flare. So when I drive out, I rise and I squeeze out. So I'm trying to literally lift my rib cage and extend my hands inward. So I'm trying to brush my bicep into my pec. So I'm trying to keep it close the whole time. When I do push again, I'm trying to drive my bicep in this way to flex my pec as I get taller. If I just did that without moving my body and I just was here and I just did this, it would be the same thing, but I'm not getting as much lift and elevation and extension. And the limiting factor will be when I don't lift up through and I start getting tough, I'm gonna wanna do this more and go and flare. Whereas if I'm in tight, I can still get up and press. And I can turn those elbows in. So the press almost looks like this when it's coming at you. If you look at my elbows, I'm not doing that. I'm literally trying to go, so my elbow's caving in, so this can rub into my outer pec. And you lifting your chest like that and squeezing that pec in will hit more lower pec, because it technically is, you're above the bar, so I'm pushing down through things. But without understanding how to press properly at all, it's not like, if I never taught someone how to press and understand to fall back, lift their chest on anything, they're not gonna get this here, because they're gonna be like, oh, I just pushed down and my chest grows. It's like, no, more than likely if you don't press properly on this, your shoulders will kill you. That movement will like fuck your shoulder up. Unless you know how to like lock your shoulder down and drive out from hands, most guys are gonna do this. And they're gonna try and get above it, right? So I'm gonna show a bunch of machines no one has at their gym. It's gonna help them out. I'm feeling generous today. I normally say this is a stupid question and move on. I'm maturing. Since my hip surgery, I've matured. I've talked about this before. The guys who have a hard time using flies, they're coming around their shoulders too much. I can get that same contraction of lower pec when I feel like I'm scooping, just like when I was pressing, I was pushing up through. I can get the same feeling when I'm doing flies, because I can create this feeling of leaning forward and I can drag my arms through. So I'm literally sweeping my bicep already with a little bit of bent arm and pressure on this knuckle, my index finger. I'm sweeping my bicep into my pec to lift my pec up. So from behind, I'm dragging my bicep into my pec, throwing up through two. So the whole idea is bringing that arm across and scooping up through here. I don't want to get up here and go and do this shit you see, they don't have it, right? My pressure stays here like I'm looking down at your feet and I'm sweeping out through. So my pressure stays down in my hand the whole time. I sweep my biceps in, my shoulders stay back, and I roll up through. So it's not gonna be a quick movement, it's gonna be this dragging. So it's almost like I have more weight than I feel like I have behind me, like I'm getting pulled and then I have to sweep up through. So I'm lifting my rib cage as I'm squeezing so that I can get that under that lower pec. Regular presses is gonna hit your lower pec just as much, but if you wanna stimulate the area, and you don't feel it, those are two types of things you can do. That machine over there, you could set up on any press that's kind of a straightforward press. Just sit the seat up higher. Rise above the push. It's just seat level. it doesn't need to converge necessarily. If you don't have one at your gym, it doesn't converge. Then just set the seat up higher and still drive in as if you're converging. As if the machine does do this, you think in your mind I'm squeezing in even though I can't. So all I'm trying to do is just bring these biceps to squeeze that pec. So it doesn't matter whether my hands are fixed here or they're fixed here, it doesn't matter.
How do you ensure you're properly activating the target muscles during exercises? Like, I know you usually put your chin down, like when you do the chest up. Are there any other techniques or cues that you usually use?
It just depends on the lift, right? And your head position will matter a lot on a lot of things. Like you'll notice if you're, like we talked about on chest, if I don't feel, and back, if I don't feel this pressure of like chin being down and head being back and pressure here, I'm gonna have a hard time eliciting a press, I'm gonna have a hard time eliciting a pull, right? So obviously your goal is to feel the muscle working at some point, and then go from there and adjust your body around that feeling or that sensation you think you have. Try to adjust your feeling or just to relax things and get things to hit more. But don't think that there's like there's not one way to do stuff. So my way to activate muscle or to get the quad to fire may not work for you, or maybe someone else's method works for you. So look at other people's methods and look at like other people you train with, people you see in the gym. Ask them how, like, what position they get themselves in and work like that. So don't think that there's, for me to tell you like, do this for legs, do this for chest, do this for this. Like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But take little pieces from everybody and then find what works for you. Because that's how you become really good at lifting and connecting with muscle. Like, there's guys in here bigger than I've ever been. Fucking bigger arms, bigger chest, whatever. And they, to my eye, it looks like they're doing shit completely fucked up. But obviously something's working, right? Not every few people are the same. They're going to be very different. Some guy might need less range of motion to stimulate that sensation, and that's fine. It doesn't mean he needs to get full range of motion. If his development becomes an issue and he's only using a short range of motion for things, and you start noticing that if he had more range, he would probably develop more of that area. Then you can come in and kind of be like, hey man, try this instead of that. Like, I know you want to be here, but kind of be here and pull, right? So there's no one way to answer that. It's a lot of trial and error, and it's not like someone told me like, do this, this, and this, and now you feel everything. Like, I had to learn for myself, right? It's like everybody else. Anyone on the internet telling you to do shit and preaching that their way is the only way and that it's like high and mighty and better than everyone else, they're 100% full of shit. And they're just trying to sell you something and like brainwash you. And if you're someone who like believes everything one person says, I don't know who's worse, you or that person. Because you're just like, oh yeah, I believe whatever this guy says. Like, it's like, even though you don't feel it or nothing happens, you're like, this guy said to do it this way, so I'm just gonna keep on doing it. It's like, you guys need to wake up, man. What is this?
So when talking about deloading and deconditioning, can you explain your approach to deload weeks or periods of deconditioning? How do you determine when it's time to take a break from heavy lifting?
I say this in my Q&As all the time. The only deloads I take are shits in the toilet. I don't deload. I don't know what that means. I know what it means. So don't fucking comment warriors come at me. I'm aware of what it means. It's just I don't truly understand it in the sense of like bodybuilding. I understand it for powerlifting. These guys are moving massive weights and they need to like let their like neurologically let their body fucking decompress. They need to like chill out, let their spine relax, like do all this stuff to like work in increments because they're trying to neurologically and like muscularly adapt to weights that are going up all the time. They need to like suppress that like stimulus every once in a while to be able to take new steps up, right? For bodybuilding, it's like, I don't know, since that's not our goal, not my goal, I'm here to stimulate muscle, I'm not here to annihilate muscle, so I don't really need to deload. The only way I would say is like take a break or to like lower the weights is like something like you had an illness, you noticed that you've just been like tired the last like going on 2 weeks straight or something like that, or a week, and you need like, man, I need to just lower my rep count, lower my set count, and just kind of take it easy for maybe a week and cut down. Maybe not on every body part, maybe just on like bigger body parts that take a lot out of you, right? So again, no one can tell you when that is. And guys that like plan, they tell you, oh, my coach planned a deload week for me. It's like, how the fuck do they know what you're feeling? I know you're gonna be tired in 4 weeks. We're gonna take a fucking break then. And you're like, get to 4 weeks, I feel good. Keep fucking going. Like, I could maybe, and then, you know, maybe 2 weeks I needed a break. And then I come back and I'm like, oh, I need a break, I'm tired again. So it's like, it's up to you as the individual to know how you're feeling and just understand that like sometimes there's a little bitch voice in your head like we talk about and you need to ignore that, and sometimes there's a real voice being like, yo, chill the fuck out, like you're about to get hurt or like bad shit's happening, right? You'll probably notice that it's probably more noticeable in outside of the gym. It'll be noticeable in the gym because you won't be moving the weight you're moving, you'll be kind of tired, you'll be like dragging ass. But you'll notice outside of the gym you can keep an eye on like your appetite, keep an eye on how your sleep is, your mood. Those things are kind of give you a better understanding, because you can always have an off day in the gym where you're just low energy. It's not uncommon. It's not something to be scared of. But it's like if other areas of your life are being affected drastically, you can bet that it's having an impact on the gym, and you should probably address those areas, which might mean you actually need rest, get more sleep, get more food, get whatever. So I wouldn't be too concerned about like your performance in the gym indicating it, because some days you just don't have it, man. It's just, I come here a lot and I don't have it. I'm like fucking 20 minutes into a workout, I'm like, fuck this. Fucking out of here. Everybody doing pull downs like this is a public service announcement to the gym community. Stop doing your pull downs wide like this. I don't even know why they make this bar like this. Okay, if you want to do them and you're going to pull wide, you're going to rock into your mid back. First of all, right when I get to here, I feel my mid back, like upper trap. I don't feel lats. I don't feel shit. But most of you are doing the pull downs like this, which is like, it looks, you guys don't even work out and that looks stupid, right? So it's like, understand, guys and girls and people that see this bar, just because you can grip as wide as you can doesn't mean you should, right? So I could even grab here, like we've talked about before. I can set up here and I can set down my elbow in front of me so my lat's tucked, and I can rock back and pull right down into my lat. And I can get my whole back involved in it, and I can rock smoothly down into here. I don't need to pull wide to hit wide. So people think if I put my hands wide and I pull, that's gonna work the width of my back. Opposite. It's literally gonna work less of your back, because you can't contract, you can't roll your shoulders back, and you can't set your elbows in front of you. The whole point of back is being my elbows being out in front of me so my lat can grab. I can't get my elbow anywhere here. Literally, I can't get it to curve in. So if I try to pull in my elbows down, I go, I can't get, so everyone just keeps their elbows open and pulls wide as they can. And they're like, oh, it's good. I did wide grip pull down, so now I'm getting wider. You guys need to evolve in the sense that like, there was once a time when there was no bench presses. There was no dumbbells, and people did push-ups. But we moved on from that time, right? We're like, people do push-ups if they want to now, but like they train with barbells and dumbbells. It's the same with this bar. It's put here so people of different widths and different heights and different lengths can use this bar to pull down properly. So unless you're Shaquille O'Neal, like we're talking about, who could probably grab out here, and even he'd be better in here, your width is determined by your shoulder width. It's not determined by like, I grab the bar out here and I go like this and I pull down. It's like, and now my back, when I stand up, it's fucking huge, right? It's like, ditch the fucking bars completely. Like, you'd be better off using the fucking V bars or the fucking like close pull down bars, the mag bars with the tilted grips. But like this, I see trainers today still using this, like bringing their client over and be like, okay, grab out here, and the person's like pulling it down, they're like, it's like, this is the caveman tool of the gym. And this is like a double pulley, so it's even more cool. But the single pulleys with like the metal bar that's just like about that wide, and these people are grabbing the tips of it, it's like, when they stand up, they have no back to speak of. You're like, well, now you know why. Because you've never felt it, like we say in every fucking video. I saw a girl sit down and do it the other day, and she's a trainer, and did it in her own workout. And I'm just like, you must tell your clients to do that, because you do it. I would never tell my client to do that. I'd be like, see this bar? Leave it alone completely. Don't even go near it. Let's go to this machine over here. You know what I mean? Mike's making fun of me again.